What you mean I'm not here? I went live bang on 8 o'clock. What'd you say? You see, chat? Now you've got the wife telling me that I'm late. Even though she's the one that's making me late. Yeah, you want to come on the camera? Alright, we'll be starting in just a few. Yo. How we doing? How's it going? Oh, it's bacon here. But no, seriously, how are we all doing? Wait, why am I getting insulted again? Man, I haven't even started and I'm getting insulted. What did I do now? Hey, Stream Hub World. How's it going? Something is definitely going on, and I don't know what. Alright, I think we're good to go. We are good to go. So how we doing, everyone? What do you mean, finally? I've been online since, like, yesteryear. Oh, here comes my drink. One sec. Is it coming? No. By the way, if anyone's ever tried a drink that's tangerine with lemongrass, don't ever try it. Vile. It's vile. Don't ever try it. This is my full warning to you. It is the most vilest drink. You know what? I'd rather drink a can of Coke Oreo than that vileness. It is horrible. I got punked into drinking it. Never again. It is horrible. Absolutely horrible. It's tangerine and lemongrass as a drink. Oh, chat. It's not good, man. It ain't good. I can tell you it's not good. Woo-wee! Been an eventful week, right? How are we all doing? Look, ain't no one gonna like lemongrass. Hey, Tiska with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much, dude. Tier 1 to Lions Pride Media, Lotus Astral, Pomeranma 2525, Seba732, and Kihitomu? I believe that's Spyboot. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate it. Prowler, I am not tired of streaming to 0 viewers over at Kick. I hope one day it will improve, but I am not tired. I am not ignoring Twitch. I called it out, I'm just still trying to think. Get back into gear. No, Tiska, that drink is vile. Seriously, that drink is vile. It is like the most disgusting thing I've drank. It's horrible. Like, there ain't nothing. There ain't nothing out there that can be well, there probably is, but it begs a question though, which one is actually worse? Marmite or tangerine with lemongrass? What, you like Marmite? Wait, do you actually like Marmite? That's divorce material. Out. Out. There's the door. Can you believe it, chat? I've been betrayed. She likes Marmite. Yeah, you don't want me to say that live, do you? Kick will never get better. It is trash. You're probably not. You're not wrong, Tiska. So that thing that my kids bought came in this. that at least one good thing came from it. It's a nice, sturdy glass bottle for filling up with just water. Works for my streams. Like, I don't mind sweet stuff, even though I shouldn't be drinking sweet stuff. But this Voss, I don't know, has anyone ever seen this? Voss Tangerine Lemongrass Sparkling. It's artisan water from Norway. Stay away. I'm sorry, Voss, but no. That's vile. Oh shit. So, well, Tiska's already just gifted 5 subs, so he'll never be number 1. Look, Ghosty, I didn't buy it. My kids bought it. They thought it was nice. And it's vile, so they tried to pass it on to the missus. She said it was vile. They tried to pass it on to my younger kids. They said it was vile, and then eventually it came to me. And I said it's vile too. But at least this is one thing that collectively as a household we can agree with. This shit's vile. Vile. $90. Are you serious? So I've just beaten Solid Snake in Death Stranding 2. And I brought that girl back. I'm progressing slowly. I'm getting there. I think I'm just going to ignore the side quests now because they're pretty pointless. And just play through the story. It seems to be going faster that way anyway. Can't go wrong with Calve Hindakas. Did you see the tag in Discord about the Starfield mods about 500? I didn't see it. I've been working all day. That reminds me of Final Fantasy 14, Tisco. Finally completed Death Stranding 1 on Saturday night too. I'm just playing for I'm playing for Death Stranding 2 at the moment. I bet you finish it before me. But I'm gonna get there. I've got a holiday coming up soon, so hopefully I can spare some time and go for it. My last holiday I didn't get any chance to game at all. It was just go out, sit at home and chill, go out. To say I didn't get a chance to play is actually wrong, because that's not fair. Hey look, 2029 is still a viable date for me to get through like all the games that I've played and not finished. You know, right now there is probably about 15 to 20 games that I haven't finished yet that I still need to finish. And Avowed and Oblivion got added to it. But I did finish Dead Take, so you can't say I don't finish games. Take it easy, Soul. I did finish Dead Take. Alright, so here's a question for you all. Doc asked this over on X, so I want to get your opinions on it. Does your achievement score or trophy score, depending on which platform you're playing, or Steam score, whatever, dictate whether you have more knowledge in video games? See, I said no. But I got immediately back, slammed against. Immediately, like, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not right. You clearly haven't completed enough games. And I think that's a whole pile of BS. Like, I don't care for achievements. I don't care for trophies. I don't play for trophies. I don't play for achievements. So that's why I don't get platinum trophies. I don't get 1,000 score. If I really enjoy the game and it's not a chore to get the 1,000 score, then I might get it. But if, like in Final Fantasy 16, I really enjoyed that game, but some of the challenges for me were a chore, so I just stopped. I play games to have fun. I'm not going to sit there. Like, I remember one person turned around on X, I think last year, said, man, that was the most horriblest thing I've ever experienced in video games. It took me almost 3 weeks to do. It was the worst achievement of my life. Why would you put yourself through that? Like, what's the point? When you could have spent those 3 weeks playing another game. I like that it exists. I don't care really. No, it's just at the moment it's being used as a tool to differentiate between who knows about video games and who doesn't. I'll finish that one day, Tiska. One day. I know I'm at the end of it. I know I'm right at the end. I'll finish it one day. I promise. It's like, I don't know, it's like, what happens if, like, the general games that you play, you might, like, dabble in some RPGs here and there, maybe, but you play a lot of sports games, you play a lot of live service games, you play a lot of, you know, play gacha games or whatever. You can only get so many achievements from that. Like, if you play Destiny as your main game, and say played Division, and say played Warframe, you're only going to get a set number of achievements. And if that's the main 3 games you play and you might dabble in little bits of other stuff around it, you still got a knowledge of video games. How does that not make you knowledgeable in video games? But your achievement score is going to be nowhere near. So to me, the whole live service just completely blows that theory out of the water. And also, you see people with, like, huge scores, and then you go through their list and it's like, oh, they beat this game that you can get 1,000 achievement points or a platinum trophy in 35 minutes, and then you start seeing a bunch of shovelware in their thing just so they can, you know, inflate their trophy score. Not gonna name names, but it's actually true. They inflate their score by buying these shovelware games that you can complete in an hour, just so they can get more trophies onto their score. Like, what? How does that make you? How's that? What's even the point? I don't know. I get that. Steve, I also won't bother even trying to get all the achievements if it requires me to do New Game Plus. I'm exactly the same. Multiple endings, New Game Plus, anything like that, I'm out. I'm instantly out. I ain't even bothering. I mean, at the moment, from what I read with KGN, he said Xbox gamers don't buy games. You can't count games from 2024. It has to be only 2025 games to count that you buy games. Man, it's just weird. Like, these arguments are getting weirder and weirder. Do you know what it is? I think I figured it out. I think I know what it is. I've had these already. I think I figured out what's actually going on. Because there is literally no news in the gaming, you know, sphere at the moment. There's nothing. There's nothing going on. Everyone is just talking about the PlayStation Civil War. Nothing really happening. I think they've all lost their mind. I think they've all just lost their mind. They're going bonkers. So instead of using this downtime to play some video games, they're like, nah, we gotta go and do some crazy shit. And I'm like, okay. Okay. I mean, just look at Nibs. His, his latest thing is just, you know how PC has Xbox PC, which is basically the Xbox PC app. You got Steam, you got Epic, you got Xbox PC, which is the PC app. That's what they've named it. That's Nib saying Xbox PC is the same thing. Like they probably part realizing conflating PC with Xbox was disingenuous. Like, what has that got to do with anything? It's the name of the app. But no, it has to be turned into console wars because why not? Why not? I didn't really like THQ's showcase, to be honest. I think there was like maybe one or two games in there that was okay, if I remember correctly. But nothing really blew me away. I don't know. Mate, I look, everyone will agree and, you know, publicly say on stream that it's not that I've never said I'm always right. I've never said I'm always right. And the chat will agree with me wholeheartedly. I'm just never wrong. But I'm not saying I'm always right because, I don't want to say that. But I will say that I'm never wrong. And Darksiders was decent, but there wasn't much there. I don't know. There wasn't much there that I got excited about. Got a nice trim on the top as well. They didn't even watch the THQ. There's a lot of games that came out on Xbox and PlayStation. There's a multiplex, and they said the Xbox players don't buy games. What about Mafia, the old country that's available everywhere? I mean, Dion, it's just ludicrous, right? I said it before, I'll say it again. Grounded 2 is gonna mess around, turn out to be Obsidian's Forza Horizon Life franchise. I agree. I think they built this game as, a side project, a passion project, but everything I'm hearing about Grounded 2 is just nothing but high praise. Tesco, they do not know how wrong I can be. But yeah, it was interesting to see. At least I thought it was. So I remember what's his face? The Baldur's Gate CEO. He once said that there's never going to be a Baldur's Gate 4. But apparently, there is. Of course, Baldur's Gate 4 is going to happen. Wizard. And that is good for you, Devastator. And that probably didn't read out. It says Grounded 2 is fun. I've been enjoying it so far. It will read it out now. I thought I enabled it. I did not. I'm a bad person. I get it. So yeah. For those of you that finished Baldur's Gate 3 or might still be playing through it, Baldur's Gate 4 is going to be a thing. It's going to happen. Wizards of the Coast boss says, but that's not the Dungeons and Dragons game Star Wars Jedi and God of War 3's director is working on. No, someone else. Divinity? Man, I could never get into those games. As much as I tried, I couldn't do it. Oh yeah, Bags. I mean, at the moment they say, hey, Sven said his studio won't do Baldur's Gate 4. Pointless topic? Not necessarily. People didn't know Baldur's Gate 4 was coming. Now they do. It is a very relevant topic. But yeah, I thought this was quite interesting. So I wasn't expecting a Baldur's Gate 4. And it seems like it's coming along. So something that I missed early last week was the update to Elden Ring Night Rain. Didn't really ask my kids, even though they're playing it quite a lot at the moment. But I don't even know if they're aware, but apparently you can now have a duo expedition instead of a trio. So that should help, in my opinion, at least some of it. I'm hoping they got the scaling right, but for those of you that have been playing Night Rain and wanted to run in via duos, you can now. And that's kind of cool. They said it was coming, and they've got a whole bunch of bug fixes that they did with it. That's a huge list. Fix some crashes, graphics FX, sound effects, text, and done performance improvements. But lots of bug fixes. That's a lot of bug fixes. Like a lot of bug fixes. Any of you still playing Night Rain? How many 2025 games does someone have to purchase to be considered a real gamer? Was that ever said? Mate, this whole notion of what it takes to be a gamer is getting worse and worse. Leafstorm, I know! It's just 10 minutes of the guy falling down. It's hilarious. It's gonna be game of the year. You watch. Baby steps. It's gonna happen. Never even played Elden Ring because I don't hate myself that much. I at least gave it a try. I gave it a try. I went out and I got beaten up by the horse. The guy with the headless horse, I think, at the beginning. Then I restarted. I avoided him. Ran. Got my first mount. Got the map. Got a few weapons. And then walked up to some random dude who I was beaten up and then got stabbed in the back and died. And I was like, yep, I'm done with this game. And then I just watched my kid play and he became obsessed with it like crazy. Still his favorite game. He absolutely loves it. Nothing comes close to it, apparently. Not Sekiro, not Black Myth Wukong, none of it. He's still gonna try Wu Chang because he hasn't had time to try it. He really likes those Souls games, Soul type games. So I'm interested to see what he thinks of Wu Chang. But yeah, so far none of them hold a candle on Elden Ring to him. Elden Ring was just in a league of its own. Bags? I don't know. It's you're not a real gamer if you haven't put 400 hours into Grounded 2. Mate, look at the way he's outed himself. He's only put 397 hours. Man isn't even a real gamer. Steve will love baby steps. Sekiro is better. I don't know. According to my son, he said he really liked Sekiro, but I'm just going by what he's saying. I'm just saying his opinion because I don't know. Like, I don't see anyone diving into them, and I don't talk to people that generally play those games. But he comes and talks to me about them every so often when he plays them and tells me what he thinks. I mean, I bought Elden Ring for him anyway when it launched on PlayStation and PC. So I got it for him on PC. And I thought I'd give it a try as well. Because, you know, Steam does game sharing. And it was cool. What did everyone eat tonight? Do you know what? I don't even remember, Paul. I don't even remember. But for those of you that have played Elden Ring, Sekiro, and Wukong, which is your favorite? It's 8:30 p.m. for me, man. You can, Steve, on Steam. I do it with my kids. I buy most of the stuff on my account, and I just add their profile to my game sharing. They still buy their own games. Tiska says Sekiro is better than Bloodborne. Oh, shoot. Oh. A bit too eager there, right? So it's official. Either this is a ploy from PlayStation, or companies are now basically saying goodbye to last gen. And in order to celebrate ditching the PlayStation 4 platform, the very next area that's coming to Genshin is going to be a permanent area. They don't have to remove it anymore. It makes you wonder, though, if mobile can handle it, why can't the PS4? Like, is the PS4 weaker than mobile? I actually don't know. I haven't looked at... It's been a long time since I looked at the specs. But if mobile can handle it, surely the PS4 can, right? Unfortunately, Paul, outside of Phantasy Star Online 2, we're probably not going to get anything else. No, but Tiska, this game is available on mobile. It plays on mobiles that, in theory, are going to be weaker than the PS4. This one doesn't make any sense. This seems like a collaboration between Sony and Hoyo. Basically, there's a lot of people playing your game on the PS4. If you ditch it, they might buy a PS5. Let's ditch it. Because it just doesn't make sense. Like, I get the notion, like, they should drop it, and I agree. You know, some might call me elitist, but I agree. But I think this is their way of getting those people on a PS4 to move over to the PS5. That makes way more sense. Yeah, exactly. No, I don't think so. There's more people playing on PS4 than there is on PS5. Classic fish and chippy. Yeah, I just thought it was. I thought it was weird. There's a lot of unhappy people about this. So April 2026, the game officially. I mean, it's still got till next year, right? I think it's next year April. Before the shut off. The first game will be removed from the store on September the 10th. If you previously downloaded the game, you may continue to download it from your library in the future. Then starting February 25th, in-game purchases will no longer be available. And then the final phase kicks in August 4th, 2026. So you've still got a year. But if you haven't downloaded it by September the 10th, that's it. You can't download it anymore. And all your microtransactions in the game will be dead by 2026. So if you're, you know, a goldfish, a dolphin, or a whale, or a kraken, or a leviathan, even, that's it. I mean, if you was one of the latter, you'll be on a better platform anyway. So that's irrelevant. But from this date is really the end of service. I know you've got till August, but if you even spend a bit of money on it, you're leaving as of February. And yes, those terminologies are all names used for the spenders. This is the only console generation that had last generation console going more than a year. I guess so. I mean, yeah. I mean, the Xbox One has almost all but been abandoned, which is good. So a goldfish is someone that spends a little bit of money here and there. A dolphin who is someone who spends, like, I don't know, £100 a week on the gacha game. Then you've got a whale who spends anywhere between 1 and 5,000. You've got krakens who spend up to 10,000 a week. And then you've got leviathans who spend way more. Way more. It's basically the money barrier on what you spend. Me, I'm just a goldfish. I'm not even a goldfish. I'm like below a goldfish. Bags, do you think 100? I know there's this one person that I know who spent around what, 45 grand now in the space of 2 years. Then again, they literally just shit money, so it doesn't matter. As in, they probably make that money in like a couple of days. I'm a tadpole? You know what? That might just be correct, Steve. Oh. I need that 5090 in it, Steve, so I can start upping my game. Upping the standards. I want to buy Xbox Series X for my little brother's birthday in the Netherlands. It's impossible to get one. It's really hard to get one here in the UK as well. They're just nowhere. They've just been discontinued entirely. The only ones I can find are the second-hand ones. Yeah, RTX 9070. But I'm willing to go down to a 5090. Like, and I'll take an RTX 9070 if you can, you know, but don't even have to go for the TI version of that one. I get more enjoyment out of those games than I do in most other games. And I almost don't spend anything on them. The trade to 50-50 level. Oh. I do. I get a lot of fun out of them. I love the stories in them. It's a constant evolving story, and it's updated quite often. You don't have to wait 25 years to find out what happens next. You know, that's a good thing. Oh no, this game ended on a cliffhanger. Is it going to continue? No, it will continue. But maybe, you know, your grandkids will get to play it one day. And if not them, maybe their grandkids. So it is what it is. That's the Switch game, right, Grey Fox? I think it was Leafstorm in my Discord that actually showed that they bought it. I've been very interested in that one. I just can't buy anything until I get paid. Spent way too much this month. Way too much. So what do you guys think of this? Battlefield 6 beta becomes the biggest thing for Battlefield ever on Steam, going beyond even Call of Duty. Going beyond even Call of Duty. Keep in mind that Call of Duty is available on Battle.net, Xbox PC, and Game Pass. Yeah, once upon a time, it was available on, you know, COD had its beta as well, right? Do you know what? I actually agree with that, Grey Fox. I think they're doing more harm to the game than good, but people are buying them. People are buying those skins, and if they're buying it, it means they want it. Hey, look, news was light this week. I'm making good of what I've got. Work with me here. Would have been much better if I had that 5090. It was also free. Wait until people need to pay 70. I mean, that's what I said, but I think one thing that is good to see is the fact that people were really eager to jump into Battlefield. I think Battlefield since Battlefield 1, 2042 has just had a really bad time. But this Battlefield felt really good. Really good. And I'm hoping that it's actually going to live up to the betas, because I really had a good time with it. And how am I your worst enemy? You see that, chat? You see that, Bullets? How he's trying to get out of it now? Who are buying those skins? They are. Bags, they're buying them. Look, the easiest way, and I hate to quote, what's his name? Jeffy here. Right? And, you know, it's common sense anyway, to be fair. But if you don't buy something and it doesn't sell, those companies will realize that they need to change what they're doing in order to get your money. Because that's the aim of the game, to get your money.
A little contribution from me for your 5090 smiley face emoji.
Hey, thanks, Great Fox. But people are buying them, and as long as people buy them, they sell. I personally like some of them are outrageous. I did like the Gundam one though. I'm not gonna lie. The one with the Gundam one, that one's actually quite cool. But then again, that's because I'm a Gundam fan. But I think these other games just don't really work, you know, in that kind of thing. I don't know. It just feels weird to me. But, you know, I'm really happy to see Battlefield doing well. I'm happy to see that there's interest for it. And it did feel really nicely, you know, back to its roots. And so I hope it succeeds. You know, they've put the work in. I just need them to say, hey, we've got Metro map here. It's going to be in the game. And they get my pre-order. That's all they need to do. But they haven't done it yet, so they don't get my pre-order. Although we are getting, apparently, Rush mode this weekend coming. And 2 extra maps to try out. So that should be cool. But they just need to confirm Metro, man. It's the best map. It's the most chaotic map in Battlefield, in my opinion. Literally nothing but nade launchers. It's amazing. You just grenades are everywhere. I want to see how they're going to handle that and destruction. I'm going to keep buying the skids to annoy bags. Mate, he's been going downhill. His coping is insane. Grok just the other day turned around and literally destroyed him. Whoop it, exactly. If they, if you want a company to listen to you, don't buy it. Because in the end, if you don't buy it, they're not going to keep releasing the same shit. They're going to turn around and say, this isn't working. What is going on here? So apparently, there's a new PalWorld game coming. Well, PalWorld clone. And Nintendo has given it the green light to release on the Switch. It's called Hellland. I'm pretty sure this is deliberate just to poke at PalWorld. Hellland is a clone of the survival crafting sim without the Pokeballs. The hit survival crafting sim PalWorld is conspicuously absent from the Nintendo eShop amid an ongoing battle with Nintendo, which has accused the game of violating its patents. The same can't be said for PalLand, a cheap knockoff that Nintendo seemed to have no problem approving for sale on Switch eShop earlier this summer. PalWorld Slop arrives on Switch. I have no idea. I just saw this article released on today, so I thought it was interesting to cover. Especially the way they call it PalWorld Slop. I don't get why people hate PalWorld. PalLand. Exactly. Instead of PalWorld, PalLand. Hey, look. PalWorld just gave people what they wanted. Nintendo was like, you really want this stuff, don't you? Yeah. You really, really, really want it? Yeah. And they said, well, you can't have it. And so PalWorld came along and said, well, here you go. Since you've been asking for it for so long, we'll just give it to you. And everyone went mental. And it had, what, like 3.5 million concurrent players? I mean, that says it all. They removed the fun out of it with the breeding system. What, you didn't want to breed your Pokies? You didn't want to go that far? And really show your paternal side? Because Nintendo fanboys hate non-Nintendo stuff.
Because Nintendo fanboys hate non-Nintendo stuff.
I don't know, man. What did Banisher say? To be fair, I hate Pokemon too. Do you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I can't stand Pokemon. I don't mind the movies. I think the movies are really fun to watch. But the anime and the games, I can't be bothered with them. I don't see the appeal. I literally don't see the appeal. Hey, Byron, how's it going? I'm going to give Anemo a chance. It looks interesting. But when it comes to Pokemon, I just don't see the appeal. Devastator, thank you for the $2 super chat, my dude. But yeah, so Nintendo said they've got no problem with PalLand. But PalWorld? No. You can't be doing that. No, you'd literally have to spend days on end getting one specific perk. Then you'd have to breed that with another 4 times all RNG to get a good build, and it was an awful system. Wait, I thought you was all into all that stuff. Ah, Byron, Division 2. I will continue fighting that battle. It's my guilty... Division 2 has forever been my guilty pleasure. I really like the game. But for the love of God, they just need to introduce a cross-save. I don't understand why they don't introduce a cross-save feature. I do not want to start again. I don't care if... You know, they've got the system for cross-save with multiple different games. Why can't they apply that? So I guess you didn't like old school Destiny. I just, you know, I've got friends on PC that play Division 2. I've got friends on Xbox and friends on PlayStation that play Division 2. Obviously, my profile is on PlayStation, and I'm not restarting it. I've put a lot of work into that account. To be fair, most of it's all outdated and crap now because I haven't played it for like 2 years. Maybe they will in Division 3. I mean, that's what I've been told by a few people now. I mean, I know it's in the works. But come on. It just seems like a no-brainer to do it. Right? To me, it looks like a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't you do it? No, it doesn't work, dude. I've tried everything. It just doesn't work with my PC. It works on my son's 2080. It works on the 3070, but not on my 3090 Ti. I just couldn't get it working on my 3090 Ti. So good luck to anyone when it lands on Game Pass. Maybe the Game Pass version will work. Who knows? But the version that I bought, I am not formatting Windows. This is the only console generation that has had... Oh, wait, that's old. But yeah, Division 3 is definitely in the works, but it just feels like nonsense that they wouldn't do it, right? I don't know. It feels weird. Digimon drops a new trailer showing off riding Digimon for Nintendo's going after Bandai. Banisher, I promise you it might work if you do. I tell you what, you send me a graphics card, I'll see if it works. If it doesn't work with that, then I'll format my PC and see if it works. How about that? Banisher, I've spoken to a friend of mine who is like in semi-contact with Yannick. And nah, I've already got one of those. You know what? My kid will like it though. I'll just replace the graphics card and see if it's my graphics card. It'd be quite funny if it was. Maybe I should reinstall DirectX. Don't really know. But from what they said, they're just not going to do it. There's no plans for it specifically. That's the official response from Yannick, and that's where it's just stayed. They're not saying never, but they just keep saying there's no plans for it, which to me means never, which is sad because I want to play it on other platforms. I'm willing to buy the game on other platforms, but I want to keep my progress. I'm not going to maintain free versions of the game. It's just not going to happen. Just cancel Marathon and do Destiny 3. Tiska, I think the reason why they're not canceling Marathon is because Marathon is going to be the game that gets Bungie swallowed up. When that game flops, because let's face it, I don't see it succeeding. I mean, I hope it, I don't want the developers to lose their jobs. So, I will always be on the side of people retaining their jobs and releasing a good game that does well. We don't want games to fail for no reason. But let's face it, the cards are stacked against Marathon entirely. I think Sony right now, especially after what their CTO said, or CFO, they're just waiting for Marathon to fail in any way, shape, or form, get a delay or anything, and that's it. That consolidation is happening quite quickly. So, Monster Hunter Wilds director details new performance updates. Because apparently the PC version is running like a slog, even though I didn't really have that much of a problem on the demo. Did the game get worse? I never bought it in the end. I've just got too much I'm playing at the moment, and when I play these games for the story only, and then I put it down. I don't play like the end game stuff. No interest. So I'll pick it up when it's cheaper. But when I played this game on the the beta demo, on the highest settings, I was running between 55 and 65 frames per second at all times, and that was on ultra. So I guess it was, I mean, that was with DLSS, of course, with frame gen, not native. But has it gotten worse? It's been improved on PC since launch, but still has issue on PC. What issues does it have? Screw Bungie, good riddance. I'll never forgive them for locking my paid content away forever. Yeah, I think when Bungie did that, they lost a lot. A lot of people. They lost a lot of people. When they sunset content that you paid for, that was such a bad move. Yeah, but PlayStation doesn't have DLSS. Different platform. It sold enough copies though. It sold more than 8 million copies in the first 3 days, so it did well. But Monster Hunter Wilds PC performance updates planned for winter and beyond. So maybe next year I'll pick this up. According to game director Yuya Takuda and reported by VGC, Monster Hunter Wilds will continue to receive PC performance improvements in future updates. While some issues were fixed in June's title update 2, Takuda explains that reducing CPU strain without making the game's performance even worse is incredibly difficult. We are aware that some players may be concerned about the potential strain on their PC, particularly those using CPUs known to have stability issues. The director said, just go buy a better CPU. The director said, according to him, the team plans to address CPU load reduction in the game's 4th title update. And they've just released title update 2. So that's going to be a while. Which is scheduled to be released this winter. Okay, 6 months later. Many are hoping to see positive changes sooner rather than later, as in June, Monster Hunter Wilds fell to an overwhelmingly negative rating on Steam. Despite a successful launch, rapidly selling only 477 copies in the past quarter. So I guess people aren't really happy with this game, are they? But hey, you know, in the great words of Todd Howard, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. And that is what it's all about. And you just need to land somewhere so I can... Did I get you? Oh. Oh my god, there's a hive of spiders in that corner. Oh, they're far away from me. Look, what you need to do is get into that corner. There's a web there. Get over there and let the spiders do their job. I'm going to listen to the folks over here and pretend that... Yeah. Oh, come on. You almost got stuck in there. What a shame. It looks worse than Monster Hunter World. The Resident Evil engine is not made for open world games. It's not. It's like Frostbite engine, right? It's not made for third-person perspective games, but they still decided to use it for Anthem, and we all saw how that ended. Obviously, this is not in the state of Anthem, but you know, just play it on console like most of the world. But Tisco, like I said, I'm not in a position to actually play it right now. I've still got, you know, Stranding to finish. I got Avowed to finish. I got Oblivion to finish. I got Expedition 33 to finish. Ragnarok to finish. That's outside of the games that I play on a daily rotation, like Woowa, a bit of Returnal, you know. So Grounded is soon to be added to that. Apparently Bags wants to finish Resident Evil 4. Good to know. Interesting update from you. You died, motherfucker. It's easier to say. Come on, man. That's not fair. It can't be every game. I just bought Dead Take and I finished it. It was that good. I mean, the ending was crazy. That ending was dark, man. That ending was dark. Nope. I finished it. That's it, though. This age verification thing in the UK is getting dumb. But I finally received my request on Xbox to verify if I'm 18 years of age or not. So, thankfully it was instant. But I'm interested. It's going to be interesting to see just how long this BS age verification lasts. Or if it's actually going to be accepted and passed around the rest of the world. Google are already looking to do it globally. That's scary. But after the Roblox situation that's going on at the moment, maybe there's some good to it. I don't know. I know. I just there was a picture that we had of this famous Turkish actor that we had signed when I went to the concert. So I just put that there and done that, and it worked. Am I over 18? Not mentally. Come on, brothers, to the end. I'm a bit better than that. Even Tiska will tell you I'm way younger than that. Have you got a link to that, Tiska? Can you send it to me via Discord? I didn't actually see anything for that when I was looking today. Because that's actually quite interesting. Let me have a look. Okay, I got it. Alright, so apparently it did. Monster Hunter Wilds patch notes, new update adds tougher endgame content, weapon changes, and more. So for those of you that do play Monster Hunter, there's some good shit coming your way. At hero rank 100 or higher, tempered versions of the following 9 monsters will now begin to appear in the field as 9-star quests. Redo, Ufduna, Nuudra, Jindahad, Gore Magala, Arkveld, Mizutsune, Lagia Cross, and Seregios. So, have fun, you know, fighting monsters that just gonna rip your face apart. But it looks like they're working on 2 fronts, both in improving the game and adding content, which is good. Hey, look, leave my pet dino alone. It ain't doing nothing to you. My pet dino is so cool. Alright, but the main story, of course, is this one. Helldivers 2 Xbox trailer includes a jazzy Halo 3 ODST teaser. And this isn't what I was looking for. I'm pretty sure. No, that's not what I was looking for. That's not what I was looking for. Mate, I know I had these bookmarked. What did I do, chat? What? Let me see. I mean, you're not there. Where did I save these? I know I saved them somewhere. Oh, I didn't save them there. Then where did I save them? Now, I guess I didn't? I could have sworn I did, though. Huh. Well, let me find it anyway. Over here.
Rated M from a...
I think this is the one. Yeah. Alright, so here it is. Let's share the screen, make sure I'm actually viewing it, so you guys don't call me a crap streamer. Halo 2 was great. I'm going to reduce the volume of this just a little bit, just in case I get demonetized. That PlayStation logo landing on Xbox is going to be hilarious. Did you hear about Arrowhead saying that their next game will have nothing to do with Sony? They're not going to fall into that mistake ever again. They're not making the same mistakes. As they had nothing but problems, apparently. Seems like it wasn't an all good relationship. But, you know, a lot of people have been wanting this on Xbox. It's going to be interesting to see... Yeah, that guy sucks. Yep. I've had that done to me before. Even though I was doing it correctly. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to cut this segment out when I end up with the thing. We should see it now. So this is Halo 3 ODST. So it looks like there's going to be a collab between Halo and... I don't know. What they got? But yeah, it's actually quite cool. What do you mean they got a vid of me playing? That was not me. Okay, getting pushed off that station was not me. Let's get one thing straight here. That was not me. I'm way too good for that. What the hell is going on? Oh. City chat. Who won, Brick? How do you mean he still played better than me? Come on! I'm good at games! But yeah, I mean, this seems like the most obvious collaboration, right? This seems like the most obvious collaboration of all. Hey, look. I get rid of the stuff in my house too, you know. But unlike you, where you have to actually go and do it yourself, I have my minions to do it for me. Right? I don't have to lift a finger. I just... Boys! And they appear. Don't come. Your excuse for now. And then they come with their, you know, with their weapons ready for battle. Ah, sucker. I think I'm going to leave that spider there for a little bit. Let it catch a few more and then they all can die. See, that's the difference between you and me, Brick. But yeah, this seems like the most obvious collaboration. And I think it's cool. But I don't know how it's going to be, whether there's actually going to be a Halo stage or if there's going to be like Halo troops that drop in to support you. It's not known yet, but one thing is for sure, there is going to be a Halo ODST crossover. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. This is the type of thing that I was hoping to see, especially with Helldivers. I'm a fan of the Don't Nod games. I really like the Life is Strange games. I did finish Life is Strange as well. Exactly, Chris. Chris knows. That would be awesome, Weapon. That would be so cool. If Xbox players actually landed as ODST members, that would be epic. Who knows, but still, just seeing ODST members there would be quite fun. But hopefully this will it'll do well. I'm expecting it to do well, to be fair. I'm not expecting it to do badly. Did you guys hear of a game called Phasmophobia? Chaos, did you beat Mafia? I haven't even tried it yet. Like I said, I've got too many games to play for at the moment. So, you know, I bought Rebirth and Metaphor, and I still need to finish those as well. I bought those day one. I'm just really bad at finding time to finish games. I get through like so much of it, and then I just switch to another game. But Mafia has caught my eye, and I do plan on getting it. I mean, we all knew that the Halo was going to PlayStation, so it's not nothing new. I think people just need to get past that now. Phasmo's only good in VR. Look, I've tried Phasmo in VR. It's not good in VR. It's terrifying. And that's not a good thing. It is the horror game, indeed. You go into a building and you have to find out which ghost is in there. But apparently, Phasmophobia 2 is definitely not off the cards, Dev says. The original game that's out right now is on track to finally exit early access in 2026. Hasn't this game like been out for 10 years? I bought the Mafia collection for like $9. That's not bad. That's really good, actually. Hey, Rebby. Yeah, hasn't like Phasmophobia been around for like 10 years? Mate, that game, I know they said 2026. That game ain't ever leaving preview. When games are in preview for that long, at that point, I don't call them a preview anymore. I just say that they're already out. This guy's that you can have a game in early access for 50 years, and they say, right, it's finally at the point of release. At that point, it's getting silly. I'm good, Rebby. How are you? I think Devin ran off. I've heard it's a good game. It's about 8 to 10 hours long. Mafia. The old country. Which isn't bad. Wait, why do I feel like I'm being judged again? I feel like I'm being judged. Why am I being judged again? It's a 2020 game? It's like 5 years. I was close. It's been in early access for 5 years. Games shouldn't be in early access for that long. Early access should be like, I don't know, 6 months. Maybe a year. Not 5 years. At that point, the game's out. I don't know, I saw someone say 2 years, and I think that's referring to me finishing a game. Byron, I'm just not into beat 'em ups anymore, man. I used to be, but not anymore. That's not news, Rabbi. She's not leaving Microsoft. That's not news. Star Citizen is playable right now. They've got events going on. They've got, you know, areas for PvP and whatnot. The sandbox is fully playable. She's not leaving Microsoft. It's common practice for directors to independently become members of other boards of directors. It's not uncommon. It's a very common thing that happens. She's also a director in another company as well. So she's now a director at 3 different companies. It's why I didn't cover this news, because it's literally not any news. No, she's not. This is the 3rd company she's a member of now. Not the 1st or the 2nd. She's now she's in the board of directors of 3 clubs. 3 companies. I forgot the name of the 3rd one. But hey, on you know, now that she's joining Tyson Foods, do you think we'll see an Xbox air fryer? It's a huge company, and she's an independent board member. It's why I didn't bother covering that news like at all, because it's just it's totally normal for these guys and people, these directors, to be members in multiple different companies. You'll actually be surprised at how board of directors, they don't really do much outside of their quarterly meetings and stuff. You know, she was brought in to bring in expertise in her skilled area, which is mobile trading. Rabbi, she's not leaving. Okay, Mr. Bot over at Kick. I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is. She's also a part of another company as well, which I can't remember the name of right now. But, you know, I didn't bring this up, but just because it's a nothing burger. People are already, you know, people tried to jump on this quite early and say, oh, she's leaving and this and that, and she's not. Right, she's not. But hey, I still hope that now that they've become part of Tyson Foods, they release it. Look, we've got an Xbox fridge, we've got an Xbox toaster. I want my goddamn Xbox fryer. All right? I just want my Xbox air fryer. That's it. That's what I want. Sarah Bond, make it happen. Collaboration with Tyson Foods. Air fryer. Xbox. Make it happen. I mean, the path that I think Xbox has taken has some influence from her as well. So I think it's like where we're going now with Xbox, I think that's going to be very telling on how well she's doing. If the next iteration of the Xbox console is really well received, does really well, then she's been a monumental success. If it doesn't, then you can bet your bottom dollar everything's going to be blamed on her. Even if it isn't her fault. Vital Vampire, there's always time to make a change in strategies, right? Even if this has to be a limited supply of, I don't know, 10,000 air fryers. As long as I can buy one, that's all okay. Or just make one just for me, and it's okay. They can send it for review purposes. Generally, being on the board of directors mean you have a certain amount of stock in a company. The most in that position are in multiple companies they invest in. Exactly. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. For all we know, there could be a catastrophic failure. Skynet could exist, and we'll all be, you know, scavenging for food. The T-800 might actually become real, and they might roam the earth, Rabbi. We just don't know. See? Brothers to the end. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go. It's already. I think Xbox has done some. I think, you know, I saw a doc today saying how he spoke to a newly PC gamer, and they didn't know what Game Pass was. And people don't realize how common this is. Microsoft has relied on the word of mouth for Game Pass for a long time, right? That's been their way of, you know, doing things. Relying on word of mouth to deliver the information. The problem is, though, word of mouth hasn't worked. Game Pass has existed since 2017, and around 70 to 80% of the people that I know at work who are casual gamers didn't know that Game Pass was a thing. They heard of it, but they didn't know what it was. Right? They heard the term, but they just didn't know what it was and had no interest. And it wasn't until I showed some of them what it can actually do that it blew their mind. And some of them subscribed to it instantly. Some said they'd think about it, whatever. But the point is, there is no awareness of Game Pass out there. You know, our inner circle here on YouTube, on X, it's pointless giving that information to us because we already know. You need to get that information out there to the people that don't know. That's the people you need to be targeting. But they don't want to target those people. They want to target us, which seems like a waste of time. But they're hoping that the word of mouth from me and you will spread the word. And it hasn't done that for almost 10 years. So at some point, you've got to realize that that strategy doesn't work. So maybe we should try a new strategy. But they haven't got to that realization yet. Skynet already exists. We're currently in a sim run by Skynet. Microsoft had the cheapest and most powerful console this gen, and sales are still declining. Gamer Jesse, there's multiple reasons for that though, right? I mean, if we look at the start of the console generation, they launched without Halo. That's huge. That's your mascot. You promised Halo, and then you showed Halo to the masses, and it got smashed to hell. But you needed a mascot, like a Gears or a Halo at launch. You just needed it. And they didn't. And then they went for like a whole year with no exclusive games. But, you know, they had nothing to really push that platform. Right? From first party. And so that already damaged it. By year 2, they started the whole ABK situation. So they purposefully made themselves look weak to the FTC, to the CMA, to the regulators. It was all a show to look weak and, you know, feeble. But for the next 2 years that this continued, it continued to hurt the brand because they weren't doing anything. They didn't want to release like their big hits or like big games, because then that would go against the whole ABK trial that they want to get through. So they kind of suffered all the way through. And then after that, with the remedies and stuff that the FTC and the CMA put in place, they decided, well, this path no longer exists for us. Or if it does, it's going to take a lot of work to go down that route. So instead of actually putting the effort in going down that route, they said, hey, everyone, you don't need an Xbox to play games. You don't see Sony saying that right now, because right now, if you have a PlayStation Portal, you can play PS5 games. That's a fact. It is through cloud streaming, but all you need is a PS Portal. You don't need your PS5. Through the cloud, you can play on your PS Portal PlayStation 5 games. That is a fact. You don't need a PlayStation 5 to play PS5 games, but you don't see Sony parading that. But you did see Microsoft parading it, whether it's on Samsung TVs, advertisements, and so all of this diminished the brand in terms of their core brand. They were trying to create something new. It's like Dyson, right? You know, Dyson for hoovers or vacuums, depending on what you call them in your country. But they also do hair straighteners. It blew my mind when I found out that they do hair straighteners a year ago. Or was it 2 years ago? It completely blew my mind when I actually found out that they do hair straighteners. Like, what? Hair straighteners? Dyson, the company known for vacuums and hoovers and whatnot. And yeah, they do hair straighteners because they're trying to diversify. Microsoft's whole aim here was to water down the console to push diversity in terms of where you can play. And to a certain degree, it's worked. But yes, it has changed the Xbox brand from what it once was. You know, there's no denying that. But they did it themselves. Yeah, Whippet, it blew my mind when I found out. I did not know that they did that. But you know what? It's commonplace now because they succeeded. They advertised aggressively to actually make sure that people didn't just see Dyson as a vacuum. Microsoft didn't do that. They just didn't. They didn't advertise aggressively. They didn't advertise at all. Their marketing is shit. And because of that, people are unaware. And this whole push to what they wanted to achieve could really work. And it is working. But it could have worked so much more proficiently and efficiently had they, invested in advertising. People can't know if you don't tell them. But I think that's the thing. Without Game Pass family plan, it's pointless to market Game Pass to the masses. What if you have 4 gamers in the same household? You pay for 2 Game Pass accounts? Yeah. I mean, if you've got 4 PlayStation accounts in the household, you still have to pay all 4 PlayStation accounts to use online, don't you? What's the difference? Nah, nowhere near enough, J-Storm. They haven't. You think they have because they do it on the, they do it in areas that people are already in the know. Right? X, Facebook. They're not doing it outside to the masses. And that's the people that need to know. And they don't. They're doing it all within a walled garden. Me turning around and explaining Stormlight to you what Game Pass is pointless. Me showing you an advert for Game Pass is pointless. I need to be reaching other people in order to do that. Like where I work right now as a 9 to 5 job, we used to do Microsoft advertising like crazy. We did design lab stuff for them. We actually built a competition for them for design labs, the controller stuff. Uh, we did lots of advertising and marketing for their video games, for the consoles, for their bundles, like loads. And we used to have a massive stream of advertising work that came in from Microsoft, but all of that dried. They cut the entire budget for the UK. They've got no budget for marketing, for agencies, and to do the marketing for them. They got nothing. They don't even have enough money to do banners. Jesse, here's the thing, right? I don't think it matters whether Sony keeps their games exclusive or not. If you're a PlayStation player, you're not going to jump on an Xbox, right? You've got your whole back catalog there. You've got your whole ecosystem there. You've got all your games there. Why would you sell your PlayStation console and go to another console and start fresh? That doesn't make sense, like, at all. Now, what does make sense is, hey, I've got a PlayStation, I'm going to bring in an Xbox as well. Or if you've got an Xbox, I'm going to bring in a PlayStation as well. You're kind of doubling up. Instead of one console that you have, you're bringing a second one. Back in the PS1 days and, Sega Saturn, those were generational. When you went to the PS2, you left the old generation behind. And then when you went to the PS3, you kind of left the old generation behind. It wasn't until the PS4 that this mindset changed, that you kind of to bring your catalog with you. And so because of that, and that generational change that they did, well, that's where things have changed now. That you're not going to drop it. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I've got tons of games on my Xbox. I'm not going to just drop those games and move over to another platform. I would just buy the other platform. So I've now got the best of both worlds. Like, to sell one and completely jump fresh like some people have done, that makes no sense to me. I don't think they will, Jesse. I think in reality, PC will take a few eventually when Sony goes day and date with their games, because now they've gone to 6 months. And don't forget, I mean, day and date is just a matter of time for PlayStation single-player games. They've gone from it's never happening to 5 years, to 4 years, to 3 years, to 2 years, to 14 months, and now to 6 months. I mean, the journey it's a downward spiral. The day and date it's coming. Might not be now, might not be this year, but it's coming. And so all that's going to happen at that point is that PC is just going to expand more. People are going to migrate to PC more than consoles, because they'll be able to play everything day and date on both, on one platform. But advertising is the key. You need to advertise. And if you don't advertise, you lose a lot. Because you need awareness. Jesse, you're just making assumptions now. And and look at it this way, right, Jesse? And I'm not picking on you, by the way. You're making valid points and valid arguments, which is why I'm responding. But look at it this way. Something that Nibs said, right? Nibs' point, which, to a certain degree, one aspect I've always agreed with. Exclusive games that are exclusive to one platform generally bring a better quality of an experience, because it maximizes that hardware's potential. I believe that to be true. But here's the catch. Nixxes exists So those games that are now being built on PlayStation or have been built on PlayStation for a number of years, they are being built with PC in mind. That means even though they're exclusive, that argument no longer works. Because the moment they're working with one extra platform, and PC is probably the worst to work with because you've got like 10 different settings and then you've got the custom settings to deal with. That's like 10, 15 different SKUs you're working with, essentially, really, right? From low RAM to mid RAM to high RAM, different level graphics cards. All of these count like a different system. But the fact that they're getting closer, they're building these games now with those in mind, those PlayStation games are already compromised from the get-go. Hey, Ember Ross, how's it going? And so with them already being compromised, what's the point in holding them back? As a company, they, you have to at some point realize you want to make more money, especially off dead IPs. Ember Ross, not at the moment, mate. I've got my son who's doing all that stuff for me. I mean, I've been lazy. He's already got some stuff made for me in terms of emojis and intros and stuff. So I'm good, thank you. But yeah, that's the point I'm getting at. They kind of they're already compromising their standards so they can release it on PC. And now they 6 months. A game doesn't take 6 months support. They'll be working on their game now, probably in tandem with the actual game. So whatever they're building is going to be built to, and made sure that it's going to work on PC. So that's that, in my opinion. So yes, I agree. Sony is going to do it with them, and I think they're just going to end up exactly the same way. I think they're just going to, I think Sony will be just fine. I know everyone is fear-mongering and everyone is crying on social media, and they're having the greatest civil war of all time for anyone on the outside sitting down and watching. It is literally, pure cinema at the moment. You can just sit there with your glasses and a bag of popcorn and just watch them ripping each other apart. It's hilarious. But the reality is they're going to be just fine because there's no reason for anyone that's got a PlayStation not to buy the next PlayStation. Why would you throw all those games away? And if you're on the Xbox side, why would you not buy the next Xbox, which is going to be fully backwards compatible with everything that your Series X can play? It doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. Now go back to what Phil Spencer said. Go back to what Phil Spencer said, and it's virtually word for word. Xbox will be the best place to play. We are just looking to expand and grow our content, to other ecosystems where the IP has saturated and it's not doing anything anymore. It's just sitting there. We're looking for new ways to monetize that IP on other platforms. That is pretty much word for word what Herman Holtz said. Right? It is pretty much word for word what Herman Holtz said, and that's what Phil Spencer said. And honestly, in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? What's not exactly? I've still got my Xbox. Then again, apparently, because I'm a content creator now, not that I wasn't in the past, and in the past I used to buy all the consoles anyway. But now that I'm a content creator, my views on that doesn't count because I buy everything anyway. But the fact that I was buying them, 10, 15 years ago when I wasn't a content creator, 20 years ago when I wasn't a content creator, none of that matters. According to some people on X. All the Grounded 2 announcement was they hit 3 million players. Was hoping it was hit lights. You've created them already. Oh, poor Steve. He's going to be waiting for a long time. Microsoft sit down is the same Sony sit down. Look, I've always said, right? I mean, there's a specific Japanese term, and I can't remember. I think it's called kaiken. Don't quote me on that. If I swore at someone, I'm really sorry. It wasn't intentional. But it's basically what, you know, unlike the West, which do everything, it has to be done right now, whack like a truck. It's getting done. Everyone just has to adjust on the damn spot. In Japan, they like to take a much more slower, gradual approach. So everyone slowly eases into that new transition so it doesn't disturb the peace. I can't remember what it's actually called, though. Maybe Susano will actually know. But Sony's just going to take more time to do it. And honestly, I think that's the right approach. You can see, you know, people have already changed the way they think. I mean, you've got people saying that it doesn't, from, you know, they don't want their games going anywhere, to don't care. And then you've got some people saying they don't care if their games go to PC, Switch, Stadia, Ouya, you know, Mega Drive, wherever. As long as it doesn't go to Xbox, they're happy. Which is weird. But, yeah. %. Now, what's the... I mean, I get the original notion, right? You buy a platform because you want those exclusives which are tailor-made for the platform you buy. There's no compromise. There's no anything to it. Everything that comes on that platform that is exclusively made by in-house development teams are going to be made specifically for your hardware. That is no longer the case, though. And at that point, it kind of loses its purpose. It's no longer, you know, it no longer makes sense. Right? Because at that point, they're making games for PC. So they're already compromised. No worries, Susanna. Because we talked about this before. Daisy Chain, what game do I stream most? At the moment, Wuthering Waves. Ah, see, you know what I'm talking about then. Chaos, do you have a game of the year so far? Let's see. What have I played so far this year? I honestly don't. Not yet. I played Avowed. That was alright, but I wouldn't say it's game of the year material. I really, really like South of Midnight. I really like that. So that's up there for me. What else? I'm really enjoying Clair Obscure, so that's definitely up there above South of Midnight. So at the moment, that's really good. Death Stranding 2 is a really good game, and I know it's going to get nominated, but I think its added content is, and I know you can ignore it, but it does just give you so much benefits that you don't want to ignore it, even though I'm going round in a loop here. So I don't think that deserves Game of the Year, but I do think it might get a nomination, depending on what we get later on this year compared to now. At the moment, I would say Clear Obscure 33 is probably my Game of the Year at the moment. The music in that game is just sublime. At the moment, I can't think of much else that came out. Sony hasn't released anything. Xbox released Avowed. They released that other town game that died instantly. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 isn't my cup of tea, so I just don't enjoy those games. The same as, say, Souls games. I just don't like them, so I can't appreciate them. I'm not saying that they're bad games. I'm just saying that for me, I can't really appreciate those games if they're not a genre that I enjoy, if that makes sense. I think Doom was good. I don't know if it's Game of the Year material, but I think it was definitely a good game. I haven't finished it, naturally. Obviously, I would be totally against what I'm for. Don't want to give you guys a thing. But, yeah. I mean, Ninja Gaiden is later the year, so we don't know about that. I think Shadows was good, but Shadows suffers from the same issues that most Ubisoft games suffer from, and that is just bloat, and it makes you bored of the game. Unfortunately, Gears Reloaded hasn't come out yet, and it's not in the running. But hey, on the 26th of August, this conversation could change. It probably won't, but it could change. Keeper will win. The combat is absolutely awful. Kingdom Come Deliverance. I mean, they sold me a product, so that's another game I need to finish. So one day I'll finish it. But yeah, at the moment, what else? I mean, what else did Microsoft release this year? Not that I'm just focusing on their games, but they released a number of games this year, right? Already. The only one, Oblivion. Oblivion was really well received. I don't think it'll be Game of the Year, but it was really well received. You had the Shadowdrops of Hexen, if people want to count those. Probably not. Moving on swiftly. I think Mafia's probably going to go down as a good game, but not a Game of the Year game. After all, people are comparing it to a 2015 Red Dead Redemption cutting logs and saying that it doesn't hold, it's a bad game because the graphics and the physics of cutting logs is just not on par with a game from 2015. Oh my god, it's the Moogle Go Around Radio. Thank you for the free rated viewers chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. South of Midnight was phenomenal. I loved the storytelling. I loved the music. I loved the art design. And the fact that you could switch off stop motion was phenomenal. Excellent move by them. I kind of wish they did that for the cutscenes as well, though. Oh, yeah. You can't swim in... You can't swim in Mafia. That was actually drama. People started complaining to the developers because you can't swim. Borderlands 4 is coming, you're right. Not a game for me. I'm not interested in that at all, like zero. I might give it a try. I probably won't, actually. I've just got zero interest in Borderlands. I've tried playing them all. I don't know what it is with Borderlands. I just can't get into it. I don't know what it is. I just can't. I've tried. Why do you need to swim on that? Oh, Banisher, I agree with you. I'm just saying what Twitterverse is saying. They were going crazy today and yesterday that you can't swim. But yeah, I think the Souls games, absolutely, brothers. I just can't stand them. Didn't someone prove that you can swim in it? I don't know. Actually, I have no idea. Can't buy Borderlands when Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out. It's not the Black Edition for Ninja Gaiden 4, so I'll do well in that one. And then Battlefield 6, not enough time for Borderlands. Exactly, Weapon. Wait, you timed Chili out? Come on, don't time the Chili out. You time Chili out. That's just mean. So, actually, some interesting news. What's this? Your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Chat, can you still hear me? Donkey Kong will probably get nominated for sure. I still haven't bought that and can't be bothered. Not yet. Even though it doesn't matter when you buy Nintendo games, they never drop in price. They retain full price all the time. Thanks, Banisher. I knew I could rely on you and Chili. Bad Steve. Bad Steve. Bad Brick. Mate, they're already saying above you that they can hear me. And you're saying no. But Fortnite developer Epic Games wins Australian court battle against Apple and Google. That means that they no longer have to abide by the walled garden by Google and Apple in Australia. This will take full effect as of next year. That's a big win. That's a big, big win. This is a win for developers and consumers in Australia. On Tuesday, Beach found that Apple had engaged in conduct likely to diminish competition in breach of Section 46 of the Competition and Consumer Act over preventing sideloading of apps on iOS, and by preventing developers using alternative payment methods for digital purchases. This means you can now bypass, well, you will be able to bypass Apple's walled garden and have your own store on there. This is massive. Now, this is only in Australia, and it does need to go worldwide. But if it does, this is going to eat into a huge chunk of the profits. And I wonder if this will have any implication on the walled gardens that currently exist in the console world, like Steam, for example, and PlayStation and Xbox stores. So could be interesting. I mean, this is one definitely to watch. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the world react to this, because Australia have now said, "Gung ho, you can go." but they've given them until 2026, I believe, to get this sorted. I can't see where it is, but I remember reading that. But they've got till next year, basically, to get the whole process set up for companies to sideload without getting any warning saying this can brick your phone and this can do this and this can do that. They need to provide an official channel through it. I mean, look at it. Each company charges fees for transactions in their app store. Google Play charges 15% fee for the first 1 million earned by developers each year, increasing to 30% above that. Apple developers pay 15% fee if the revenue generated in the previous year is lower than 1 million, but pay 30% if they earn more than that. So basically the same. Epic's own store change. You're right, hon. Own store charges developers a 12% fee. I wonder if I mean, it's going to be interesting if you can bypass this. What would stop them bypassing consoles? This is like, if this becomes worldwide on mobile handsets and you can bypass it, it's going to be really interesting to see how that then moves on and dictates consoles in the future. And if this starts hitting consoles in the future, then that walled garden then at that point means nothing. At that point, they're going to release games on the platform, store it on their own servers, and have it downloaded. Sony, Microsoft get nothing. We need to stick up for our big corpo friends. My PC isn't powerful enough. The GPU isn't good enough to do that. I need to get a bigger GPU before I can stick up for our big corpo friends. But I thought that was like really, really big news. Definitely a big win, and hopefully we'll see the ramifications of that and how it pushes out to the rest of the world. Especially on the back of the US hearing. That one didn't make any sense whatsoever. So the US hearing actually found in favor of Epic against Google and said, right, you can sideload. But in the US, they found in favor of Apple, which is so weird. It's the same thing. But I guess Apple might like, the US might like Apple more than Google. I'm not formatting Windows. But I will if I have a new GPU. New drivers and all. Gotta be fresh. I mean, technically Google is as well. Technically it's already in places. It's not an install, but I know a lot of gachas are opening web stores that skip the Apple and Google payments. Yeah, and you'll probably find Apple, at the time at least, is probably trying to get them shut down. It technically has, Cesano, because yes, you can sideload, but to the average person, the moment they start seeing, if you install this app, it's not verified by Google, it's not verified by the Play Store, it could break your phone, you can damage your phone, you can basically break your phone. These warnings put people off from downloading those apps. So yes, you can sideload on Android, but they put enough scaremongering warnings in front of you for the one, for people that aren't as in the know, and there's a lot of those people out there, they will not install it out of fear that what they've just installed will brick their phone. And then if for whatever reason a slight little hiccup happens on their phone, they're going to start freaking out because of the app and then immediately uninstall it. There you go. Banish is one of those people. So yes, they allow side loading, but they've got enough, warnings and scaremongering going on where it just stops people from doing it. To be fair, if you go to those sort of websites and start downloading shit, that's a you problem and not a me problem. DDU should do the trick. Yeah, Apple doesn't allow it full stop. But now, if it's a trusted vendor, you don't get those warnings on Android. That's what the new rules that are in place now. If you want to install the Xbox app on there, that can play games, xCloud games, you don't have to go through no fancy smancy stuff. You can just download it and play. You won't get any warning about the app causing issues or it bricking your phone or nothing like that. Those stuff are still going to be certified. And so they're removing that barrier that Google put in place. Yeah, I get calls from Free Network all the time telling me that they want to give me the best contract deal I've ever had. So I was in a meeting when they called, and I told the missus, ask them for their name and tell them that I'll call Free up myself and ask for their name. They didn't call back after that. Heretic and Hexen. I mentioned this a little while ago. Not going to stay on this for too long. But it gets a surprise re-release. How Night Dive Studios delivered another definitive version of a classic. Has anyone bothered playing these? I mean, does everyone even know that these came out? Barring a few people. Has anyone seen the stream white ads saying illegal streams will rob you? Not like legit streams don't try to say tricks. No idea, man. No idea. But I haven't. But I am gonna go grab a quick drink and I will be right back. You hailed the chair?
Killer celebrates 17 months of membership, share summer hype.
Wait, it pronounced your name as Killer? Is that how you, is that the actual pronouncing Chili? Is it Chili or Killer? Is it pronounced your name as Killer? Thank you for the membership. Woodpit, I have not. What's happened to Mag's wife? Yeah, a problem with jailbreaking is that apps stop working. And that's a problem for me. Certain apps will just not work. Especially banking apps. At least they didn't in the past anyway. Something happened to her. She's okay now, apparently, but some... I heard that he had to rush to hospital, and, you know, I hope everything was okay. But that's really all I heard about it. Well, let's not speculate. Let's wish him well and his family well, and if he ever wants to talk about it, we can hear about what it is from him directly. That's my input on that. Exactly. So once he's ready to talk about it, I'm sure on Colt's stream he will do just that. So I think just leave it at that until he's if he ever wants to talk about it, we'll know. Otherwise, we can just wish him well and hope his family recovers well and, you know, nothing bad comes from it. Stellar Blade emphasizes record-breaking PC performance. Project Spirit still targeting post-2027 release. So the next game is still coming in 2027 or late after 2027. But they've had great success on PC. The report reiterates that the established and continued success of Stellar Blade, reaching over 3 million sales across PC and PS5, as well as nearly 200,000 concurrent players on Steam, with 98% user reviews. Additionally, the title ranked #1 on Sony's PlayStation PC performance history when looked at peak. Wait, what is Sony's PlayStation PC performance history? I didn't even know that was a thing. I guess they're talking about the other Sony titles. Ghost of Tsushima 77,000, God of War 73, Spider-Man 66k, Horizon 57, and The Last of Us 37k concurrent. I guess 200,000 is going to put it at #1, and it probably won't be beaten for a while. Hey, Power Boss. In a Q&A, it's claimed that Stellar Blade is hailed as the most successful platform expansion in AAA history. It became the fastest selling Korean game on Steam, surpassing 1 million units in 3 days. Wukong is Chinese, right? So yeah, because Wukong obliterated that. Quite a bit. We've gone through quite a lot. In fact, most of the topics that I had. Baldur's Gate 4 being a thing, Night Rain Duo now being a thing, Genshin Impact being off PS4, Battlefield doing really well. I mean, how are people still playing Battlefield, by the way? I'm seeing people still playing Battlefield. Weird. New PalWorld clone called PalLand is allowed on Nintendo, but PalWorld is not. Yeah, some Monster Hunter updates. We talked about Helldivers and a Halo collaboration. Phasmophobia after 5 years, finally getting an appearance. And Epic. And we are now at Stellar Blade. Not made by the same people, though, Chili. Wait, PlayStation has a PC app? I mean, I get the phone app. But that's just streaming, right? That's not actually a storefront. No, they don't have an app. The Remote Play did, but you can't buy anything from there. That's not a storefront. But this is cool. More success for a great game. One of the most mind-bending puzzle games in years hits Xbox today. The portal-like viewfinder challenges in unique ways. I remember seeing this game quite some time ago. Right, it debuted in 2023. It's a really weird puzzle game where you kind of bend the world to make the image. And I really liked the concept at the time. I never did play it. But it's now coming, it's released on Xbox today. It's also available on PS5 with the Switch version coming later this year. Yeah, I always had an interest in this game. I just never got around to it. So if it's Play Anywhere, I might pick it up on Xbox. Hey, they're easy. How's it going, buddy? Enlisted and War of Thunder got added to Game Pass Play Anywhere. Man, I remember Enlisted. Isn't that a free-to-play game? I didn't really like it at the time when I played it. It wasn't for me. And War of Thunder, that's also a free-to-play as well? But yeah, if you're interested in this, it is available on Xbox today, according to Polygon. Has there been anything? Oh, there's been a bunch of stuff here we can go through. Senwa's launch is today, I think. So Melina wanted to give a special message to PlayStation fans everywhere. I'm Melina from Ninja Theory, I guess the actress who plays Senwa in Hellblade. Wait, she actually works She's actually... I thought she was just a hired actress. Never mind. Who replaced Senwa in Hellblade, Senwa's Sacrifice, and Senwa's Saga Hellblade 2. I'm beyond excited to finally share that Senwa's Saga Hellblade 2 has arrived on PlayStation 5. It's been a long, intense, and deeply personal journey, and bringing this sequel to PlayStation truly feels like coming home. Jesus Christ. Say it like you really mean it. Oh, man. I didn't know that. Apex. I thought she was a hired actress. Look, man. Ninja Theory shafted Xbox owners enough. They didn't need to put the final nail in the coffin, is all I'm saying. There was no need for that. But I do get your point, brothers. I do get your point. Yeah, I didn't know that she was actually like a full-time employee. I didn't realize that. I just thought they hired her specifically for this role. You know? This doesn't make sense to me. New Gear's coming out in 13 more days. Helldivers is coming in 13 more days too. Roadmap for Q3 and Q4 2025. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. I don't know why I'm looking at it here though. Probably better off looking at it here. But that seems to be kind of huge. Let's open this here. Go here. Engine update to Unreal Engine 5.5.4 for optimization. Various night vision devices. Binoculars. A-Life updates. It definitely needed those. New anomalies. New missions. New weather scenarios. Master difficulty preset. Hey Steve, you were saying it was too easy. Now you can have that. Extended day-night cycle. Stashes loot rework. Kind of a lot of stuff they're adding into this new update. Zone kit phase 1 to phase 2. Audio modding, narrative tools. And apparently there's going to be a Discord holiday event. Also, don't forget, more Stalker Legends of the Zone Enhanced Edition improvements. Release of Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl on PS5 and PS5 Pro. Mission targets may be moved from 2025 to later dates in case of zone instability. So, there you go. All of this landing in time for the PS5 release. Chile just rubbing it in now. Man, Steve, you're crazy. You're crazy. Why would you want that? Anyone still playing this? Still need to go back to it at some point. Oh, this is interesting. Well, it's way too political, so I'm not going to really showcase it, but I'll read it. Arcane employees demand Microsoft sever ties with Israeli military, saying we don't want to be part of this sinister project for Gaza. Arcane are the team behind Prey, right? The character becomes level 1? No thanks. What about if you get re-raised chili? But they're the ones behind Prey, right? And Blade as well? Well, I guess Blade ain't coming anytime soon. Yeah, I'm going to say hell out of that, but Microsoft is just going to close the studio instead. But yeah, these updates that are coming to the game are going to land in time for the PS5 release. They're not coming earlier than that. They will launch with the PS5 because that's what Xbox likes doing. Even if it was ready, they wouldn't release it. I don't know how excited you are, Max. It might be gone with the studio. Oh shit, Team Killer Media. No, don't say Team Killer Media, man. Not Team Killer Media. Just seeing if there's any other real tidbits of information. But I'm not seeing anything else in my news feed that I created today. Oh, this is interesting. Assassin's Creed has gone a bit off the rails, but Ubisoft says it hasn't forgotten about the whole Assassins versus Templars thing, with a deep dive on the conflict coming in the near future. So, for those of you that are still interested in the whole Templars thing, they haven't forgotten about you. It's coming. Just one day, but not today. Is there rumors of that studio closing? Arcane is basically saying if Microsoft continue their ways with thing, they're not going to do any work, essentially. They're not going to work for a company that supports that. That's where it is currently. There's no rumors. Don't take it as is. I'm messing about. But that's what Arcane have said, and that's all that I've reported on. They're not pretend Assassin's Creeds. They're real. They're all real. I don't know what you mean. They're all real Assassin's Creed games. You're just jelly. And Bags, I will quote what they said. We don't want to be part. They want Microsoft to sever ties with. You know, I'm going to skip certain words so it doesn't trigger anything. We don't want to be part of this sinister project for G. So yeah, they're pretty much asking to be shut down. Battlefield 6 lead producer says large maps exist, confirming the full game will offer bigger battles than the beta's cramped, chaotic firefights.
Also chat, I promise I will jump on again one day.
Thank you for the £2 super chat. Yeah, Chile, I didn't, until I basically mentioned last week on Thursday that you're playing Baldur's Gate 3 with your crew at the moment on Thursdays. So when you're ready and you've got time to think, just let me know. But yeah, interesting. We all knew there were going to be bigger maps, but why people think that, I don't know.
Or should I say Eel threatened to be back again?
Yeah, you should threaten. Thank you again for the £2 super chat. According to Take-Two boss, I know I'm not showing this on screen, it's just headlines that I'm reading. Take-Two boss super duper serious that GTA 6 won't be delayed again. The fact that they use the word super duper, it means it's getting delayed again. It's gonna happen. You know it. I know it. Everyone knows it. It's gonna get delayed. Also, Digimon is likely to be sued by Nintendo by this time tomorrow morning. I know someone at the start of the stream mentioned that Digimon is now got mounts that you could ride. So Nintendo will straight up be on that, and they've already sent their goons over to Namco Bandai to issue the patents and say you've infringed them. You need to take this stuff off now. That is also true. He did keep coming back, and I kept bringing him back. I do have some news about the ROG LIX, though, if anyone's interested in that. It's not great, and it's a little disappointing, honestly. Just trying to dig it up. Crafton fires back at Unknown Worlds lawsuit, says Subnautica 2 was at risk of causing irreversible harm to the entire franchise, like Kerbal Space Program 2, and that is why they yeeted everyone. Oh shit. Mass Effect 5 devs should use Dragon Age the Veilguard as a scapegoat so they can get what they need from EA, says former BioWare exec. You want another Veilguard? Then continue doing what you're doing. That's harsh. Former BioWare dev, I think it was Mike Dorado said that. That's rough, man. That's rough. Don't think there's much else here. You got the Power Rangers and stuff. Alright, that's my feeds up to date. There's nothing there. Remedy is unsatisfied by poor sales of FBC Firebreak and a tiny PC player base. They're not happy about it, but says despite the rocky launch, we believe we have a solid game to build on. Steve, didn't you say that FBC Firebreak was one of your game of the years? I remember you telling me that this game was so good that you couldn't put it down. It was literally that good. I'm pretty sure it was you that told me. Nah, I'm pretty sure you said it was like up there as one of your favorite games. Yeah, that's the video I'm about to bring up. Apparently, if you felt way too killable in the first Battlefield 6 beta weekend, you might not have imagined it. Battlefield 6 devs are investigating reports of insta-killed super bullets. Fun times. Yeah, I created this whole feed thing now. It covers like a bunch of publishers, and every time they post news, it just pops up on there. Makes it so much easier for me to just get news rather than looking in places like X for no reason that's not going to have anything on there. Game Freak are not working for Nintendo. Oh, Game Freak. Gonna be interesting. Who's
Game
that?
Freak when not working for Nintendo XD.
Who's gonna buy Black Myth Wukong? It's coming to Xbox consoles next week. I think this game is gonna do. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna do well at all. They did. Hey, Calandros. I mean, I already bought it on PC, so they lost my money instantly. I mean, I don't like the game at all. I bought it for my son, full disclosure, but I did try it, and I don't like it. No surprise there. But it's going to be interesting to see if all that crying for the game being skipped on Xbox, now that it's coming out, if people are going to actually buy it. Or are they now going to move the goalposts and say, well, they released it a year later, I'm not interested, I don't want it, and I never had interest in it anyway. Ah, Devastator. It is what it is. You know, in the end, Microsoft put themselves in that position. Apex, that's my problem right now. Like, if no games came out between now and Christmas, I have enough games to play right now that I'm probably okay for the next 2 years. Maybe 3. At the rate I play games anyway. I mean, there are games still that I want to play back on the PlayStation 1. Hey, Force, it's been a while. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back. Apparently, there's a new rumor. Master Chief is a new Halo game is coming to PlayStation consoles. Well, yeah, it's the Halo Evolved. Look at this! Look at this dickhead. Welcome home, Master Chief, where you truly belong. Fuck's sake. Oh. Shit, man. That's funny. I mean, I still want to play, I know this is going to sound really bad, right? This is going to sound really bad, but I still want to play Xenogears. I never got to play it back in the day. Oh, I'm just leaving the video one, bullets, and just talking. But if you must insist on seeing what I'm talking about, there's that one over there. Welcome home, Master Chief. Gonna call it a night early tonight. Got to be up at 7 since I've got getting to the office. No clue why we need to go to the office anymore, but it is what it is. You know what, Gorsty? I have the same thing. They keep telling us to go into the offices, and I don't understand why. I mean, we are perfectly able to do our work from home, and honestly, we actually work later working from home. I don't, I start a little bit earlier, I finish a little bit earlier. I'm technically actually working more hours, more time, working through my lunch break. So they get more from me when I'm working from home than I do when I'm working in the office. But they insist on me going to the office. I don't get it. Grounded 2 winter and summer updates have a lot of content, even new biomes. Yeah, they do. Ghosted, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Unfortunately for where I work, they leased out this brand new, shiny, massive building on Liverpool Street. I know the irony of it all. But they literally just leased it out, and then the pandemic hit. And now they're trying to justify it, and they're forcing people to go back in, and people don't like it. Combat Evolved, right? They're remaking Combat Evolved, so I suspect that one will be on there. That one's a no-brainer. That's just a remake, right? You're assuming Combat Evolved is going to be ready. I don't think it's going to be ready. And I think they'll leave that for the Dev Direct or the Summer Showcase. Something that big, I don't think they'll leave announcing it at the Game Awards. I get the Indiana Jones, that was one thing, but I think with Halo, Combat Evolved, once they've solidified that it's coming, 90-minute commute, ouch. That's rough. It's right opposite Greater Manchester Police. Mate, you must have the worst time ever, considering where you come from, Scouserville. Mate, the moment they see your white van, that's it. They're all over you. They are literally all over you. They're like, right, buddy. Open the van. Open the van. Inspection time. You'll never escape the allegations, Ghosty. Anyway, take it easy, buddy. Halo's great. 1, 2, and 3 and 4 were amazing. 5 is when it got silly. Infinite, some people love it, some people don't. Can't let them hear the accent. That's new wheels every morning. 5 is the best Halo? You're one of the few people that actually believe that, Woodstar. I can't even tell if you're trolling at this point. I don't think 5 sucked. Xbox PC. Probably them. This is what I was talking about. Because this says available tomorrow on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, the Xbox PC app, Steam, and Game Pass. But he has to turn that into a console war. Like, fuck, no. Talk about. Like, you just, I don't even get it anymore. I don't know. I really enjoyed Hellblade. and I'm still enjoying Starfield for what it is. But then again, I'm quite biased with Starfield because I like space games, and Starfield resonates with me a lot. So maybe there's a bit of bias there for that. For you know, my childhood, there's two genres that I really love in movies and TV series. That is post-apocalypse, which is why like The Last of Us really appeals to me. I love that setting, like the end of times setting, where civilization has collapsed, the world has come to its bitter end, and people are just trying to survive through factions by creating their own worlds and their own laws and all that shit. That really appeals to me. I love that genre, which is why like series like The Walking Dead I like, right? And I also like space. Anything sci-fi, I generally am a fan of. Even if it's a bad movie, I will probably still enjoy it. And so I enjoy those games, which is why even games like Star Citizen, I play every so often. I like it. But again, that's just my bias towards those genres showing more than anything else. But I still think that's quite funny. But Hellblade 2 is an experience, right? It's not. I mean, they told you it was an experience. If they could turn it into a. They were joking about running that game at 24 frames per second. Who knows? Maybe they've added extra content. I don't think they have, though. That cat writes like a child. What cat? Yeah, like the mods on Starfield are crazy. But my aim in Starfield right now is to finish it 10 times, go through Unity 10 times. I'm going to do everything in my playthrough now. The current playthrough I'm running for at the moment, I'm going to do everything you possibly can do. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to go Unity, and then I'm going to burn through Unity another 9 times, because at that point, you've got all your buffs because you can get them 10 times. And after that, whatever world I land on at that point is going to be my definitive world. That's going to be where I stay forever. What is Black Cat Books? I don't know what that is. Are you talking about the cheetah? Take it easy, Stevie. Oh, that's interesting. I will request it. They might not give it, but I will request it. Harmon Smith, good lord. Mate, I hadn't heard of that guy's name in so long until you mentioned it. This is a cool rumor. Uncharted 5 apparently is in development at Naughty Dog. No idea if it's true or not. And will feature Cassie and Sam Drake, and will be helmed by the co-director of Uncharted Lost Legacy, John Escaig. Don't know. Why Sam though, and not his brother? Not Nathan. Yeah, but why Sam and not Nathan? I guess Nathan Fillion just might not be available. That's the only thing I can think of, really. I just don't think Uncharted has the same impact with Sam as it would do with Nathan. I think Nathan just has that charm. He has those one-liners. He has the charisma. Sam is always seen like the one that kind of just screws things up and is there for his own agenda. I don't know. It gives a different vibe to the game. So, cool if true, but I think the reason why they wouldn't have Nathan is because he's busy with like TV series and movies and stuff. Especially now that he's played in that new Superman movie. He's also doing Rookie. So he's probably busy like hell. Oh, right. There was one last thing I wanted to show today. Which is kind of... So... Apparently the Asus ROG Ally X has now got a price cut. A big price cut apparently, so that might be worth looking into. But where's the video that I had that had a lot of comparisons between them? I think it's here. It was done by ETA Prime. It's a short video, so I figured we'd watch this and end. The version 1 of the what is it? Blah blah blah. The version 1 of the Z1 Extreme Ally X. Is released. I can't see the price here though, but apparently you can get up to a 23% discount on it in some places. And even the Z1 Extreme ROG from 649 has gone down to 499. So they're all kind of like they've all taken like a big massive price cut, sorry. Because the announcement is apparently it's going to be October for the release date for the Xbox ROG Ally. So we'll see what that is, but there is a lot of discounts going at the moment where they're just trying to get rid of old stock. But Intel has surprised. And well, let's check this video out because they actually did pretty damn well.
Hey, what's going on everybody? It's ETA Prime back here again. Today we've got the ultimate handheld showdown. Well, at least when it comes to the CPU, or rather APUs that we're going to be using in most of the handhelds on the market today. We're talking about Windows handhelds.
Hey, Grey Minute.
Deck out of this. But when it comes down to it, we've got three main chips that are on the market right now. The Ryzen Z2 Extreme, the Ryzen Z1 Extreme, and of course the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V. I've got three popular handhelds on the desk right now, and for the Z1 Extreme test bed, we're going to be using the ROG Ally X, but keep in mind there are other devices with that Z1 Extreme, like the Legion Go S and even the Legion Go. Next up, for the Z2 Extreme, we've got the all-new MSI Claw A8, and there are other devices coming to the market with the Z2 Extreme. Lenovo has already announced the Legion Go 2, and the ROG Xbox Ally X will also have this same chip. And finally, for the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V, we've got the MSI Claw 8 AI. A couple other manufacturers do have this chip in the handhelds, like 1X Player, but these are very evenly matched across the board when it comes to battery life and everything like that.
So this one over here is powered by Intel. These ones are Z2 AMD chipsets. This is the older one, this is the newer one.
But the main thing we're going to be covering in this video is performance out of these three chips at a 17 watt TDP and a 25 watt TDP. Jumping right in here with the main differences between these three chips. Over on the ROG Ally X, we've got that Ryzen Z1 Extreme. We've seen this time and time again. It's based on Zen 4. We've got 8 cores, 16 threads. It's got a boost clock on all cores up to 5.1. 12 compute unit RDNA 3i GPU up to 2900 MHz, And we've got 24 gigs of RAM running at 7,500 mega transfers per
That 24
second.
gigs of RAM is
When
important.
it comes to that new AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme in the MSI Claw A8, we also have 8 cores and 16 threads, but this is based on Zen 5, and it's arranged in a way where we've got a base clock of 2 gigahertz on all 8 cores, but keep in mind we've got 3 Zen 5C cores that'll clock up to 5 gigahertz, and 5 Zen 5C cores that only clock up to 3.3. It's rocking the Radeon 890M iGPU, so we do have 16 compute units based on RDNA 3.5, does up to 2900 megahertz, and with this, we've got 24 gigs of RAM running at 8,000 megatransfers per second. As for the MSI Claw 8 AI, we've got the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V. This is much different. We've got 8 cores and 8 threads, and an all-core base clock of 2.2, 4 performance cores up to 4.8, 4 efficiency cores up to 3.7, and when it comes to the GPU, we've got the Arc 140V. It's got 8 Xe2 cores, this will clock up to 1950 megahertz, and 32 gigs of on-package memory running at 8,533 megatransfers.
See, for me, that 32 gigabytes is just gorgeous, but you're going to see some interesting stuff now. Indeed it was, Brick. Indeed it was, because we were coming to this. In fact, I actually said to you that we're going to cover it a little later.
Transfers per second. On paper, definitely looks like the Z2 Extreme is coming ahead with those Zen 5 cores, but the Z1 Extreme does have that higher all-core clock of 5.1. We're going to start out here with a CPU benchmark. We've got Geekbench 6, and this is at a 17-watt TDP. At the top, we've got the Ultra 7 258V coming in with a single core of 2,712, multi 8,247. Taking a look down the list, I mean, at a 17-watt TDP, the Core Ultra 7 258V is coming ahead of the Z1 and the Z2 in single and multi at 17 watts. But as soon as we take it up to a 25-watt TDP, the Z1 and Z2 are coming ahead of the Ultra 7 258V in multi-core, mainly because we've got those extra threads, 8 cores, 16 threads, as opposed to the 258V's only 8 cores and 8 threads, and the Z2.
So as you can see here, on 17 watt, which is what most people play because they actually like to, game for more than 30 seconds. Go away. The Intel Core is actually doing really well, but once you push it to 25 watts, for those people that want to play only for 5 minutes with their handheld, unless you've got it plugged in, the Z2 Extreme does pull ahead.
8 cores and 8 threads, and the Z2 Extreme is just nudging ahead by a little bit in single core performance, but that Z1 is falling behind. I also ran 3D Mark Time Spy to check out the iGPU performance, and I'll tell you the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V at 17 watts and 25 watts is coming ahead of the Z1 Extreme and the Z2 Extreme, but I've noticed with these Core Ultra chips and these newer iGPUs, specifically the 140V and the 140T, synthetic benchmarks do come out a bit higher, and this is not indicative of real-world performance. But yeah, if you're looking at benchmarks here, that Core Ultra 7 258V is even beating out the Z2 Extreme.
And this is why you should never believe benchmarks, at least these ones. What you want is real-world, performance. You want to see the actual games and their FPS, because that's what really matters.
Now it's time for some side-by-side in-game benchmarks. First up, we've got Cyberpunk 2077. 1080p, and what we're seeing now is the 25-watt run. I also ran these at a 17-watt TDP. Afterburner on screen, and when the 140V was initially launched, it really fell on its face when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077. No matter what I was doing with it, I was getting really low FPS, but Intel has been doing an amazing job with these Arc GPU drivers, be it for iGPUs or desktop GPUs, and performance has almost doubled from the initial launch, which is pretty crazy here. And at the end of this benchmark, remember, Steam Deck preset, 1080p, 25-watt TDP. Over on the Z1 Extreme, we averaged 41 FPS. On the Z2 Extreme, that goes up to around 46 FPS. And on the Core Ultra 7 258V, we're averaging 54 FPS.
That's insane, right? The Z2 Extreme, and the only thing I will say about the Z2 Extreme is that Drivers are probably new for it, so maybe it will mature later on. But right now, the Intel Core Ultra 258V, based on this one for Cyberpunk, is pulling ahead by almost 10 frames. That's a lot.
Now at a 17 watt TDP, that Core Ultra is still coming ahead, which I thought was pretty impressive. On that Z1, we averaged 32, Z2 Extreme 39, and on the Core Ultra chip, 42 FPS. Next up, we've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, low 1080 with no scaling, so I'm not using XeSS or Fidelity CAS here, all at a 25 watt TDP that we're taking a look at right now. And at the end of this one, the Z1 Extreme averaged 59 FPS, Z2 Extreme up to 64, and the 258V came ahead of that Z2 by just 1 frame, up to 65. But when we drop this down to a 17 watt TDP, that Z2 Extreme is beating both of them out.
Let's give and take.
I also wanted to test out Forza Horizon 5, and just like Cyberpunk 2077, when this 258V was launched, I had to take these settings way down to get good performance out of this game, and it's an easier one to run. Medium settings, 1080p, 25 watt TDP, Z1 Extreme came in with an average of 76, that Z2 Extreme up to 80, and the Core Ultra 258V at 83 FPS.
Now here's the point I'm making. The Z1 Extreme, the LIX, is going down in price at the moment. If it drops down considerably based on the discount, depending on your region, if the difference in frames is like 5 frames between that and the Z Extreme 2, I think you're better off getting the Ryzen Z1 Extreme. It really depends on the price point and the price difference. But at the moment, the Z1 Extreme seems really plausible if that price discount is really good, right? Oh yeah, like I said, PalBoss, it's going to need time to mature. But as of right now, based on what we're seeing, we can only go by what the thing is. All the fuss over piss. And XCS comes out swinging. This is without XCS enabled, if I'm not mistaken. He enables it later, I think.
And of course, we tested at a 17 watt TDP. That Z1 was up to 62. Z2 Extreme beat out the 258V by 1 frame here at a 17 watt TDP.
Now, anything above 60 and you're happy anyway, so the Z1 Extreme is still holding strong. What I'm saying is these aren't blowing it out of the water. These aren't blowing it out of the water. I expected a lot more frames. I don't know, I expected like a 15-20 frame difference. But we're not really seeing that. But all the hype that the Z2 Extreme was getting. And like I said, maybe it just needs drivers to mature. But I don't know, I'm not feeling it.
Black Myth Wukong was the next one I tested, and we're not using frame gen here, but we are using a little bit of scaling. And on the AMD chips, we're using FSR. On the Intel chip, we're using XeSS, both set to balanced. Low settings, 1080, 60% res scale, 25 watt TDP. Z1 came in with 44 FPS on average, Z2 up to 49, and the 258V 50 FPS. So the Z2 and the 258V are really trading blows here at 25 and 17 watts. You can see here at 17 watts, the Z2 came ahead by 1 frame, but remember at 25 watts, the 258V came ahead of the Z2 by 1 frame. And the final game we have here, I only tested at a 25 watt TDP because between these 3 chips, I don't think this game's very playable at 1080. Of course, dropping it down to like 720p gets us a bit more. Low, 1080, FSR on the AMD stuff set to balanced, XeSS set to balanced on the 258V. On the Z1 Extreme, we averaged 30 FPS, Z2 came in with 31, and the 258V came in with 37 FPS on average. And if we dropped all of these down to 720p, we're still not going to see a huge jump with this game. It's just something about it, and this game is even Steam Deck verified, Personally, I do think it's kind of unplayable over on the Steam Deck, but
Trust me, I've actually tested this on Steam Deck. It's not good. It runs okay-ish in some areas, but it does drop down to single digits, even on low. Hey, Devin. How's it going, buddy? Everyone missed you today. A good old Devin. Ah, you was out working. Was you wearing those red costumes? Look, if you know, you know. I'm not going to delve into that. I'm not going to say anything more on it. If you know, you know. And I'll leave it there. I like Devin. Intel probably got some money from Microsoft, just like AMD and Asus partnership. What's that got to do with the benchmarks? The main thing I'm noticing a lot of these are the Z1 and 2 fluctuate very little. The Intel jumps about 15 FPS difference. But it's always around the same. It's either pulling ahead or losing ever so slightly. Odd zero ran on my decade-old machine. Yeah, the Steam Deck just didn't like it. Like, do you remember that scene early on where you had that big machine that came out? The very first boss that you fight, the worm. It crippled the Steam Deck. It didn't like it at all. I mean, there was parts there where it was dropping down to like 10 frames a second.
either way, I mean, some people have been
Not
able to
happening?
get by with it just fine. When it comes down to it, with the games that I tested in this video, the Z2 Extreme and the Intel Core Ultra 7 258V are right on par with each other. I mean, it really depends on if you're going to be running at 17 watts or 25, which one's going to come ahead by 1 or 2 frames. Not a huge difference here, but both of these chips are beating out the Z1 Extreme, and we kind of expected this would happen. And I'll tell you, 258V has been on the market for a little while. Intel's been doing a great job with their GPU drivers. We've been seeing massive gains in some of these games from initial launch. So I do think that with the Z2 Extreme, we're going to see a nice little hike over there also. So in a few months, I might retest. But right now, I mean, it's really up to you. If you want to go with Intel, you could do that 258V. If you want to go with AMD, I would choose the Z2 Extreme over the Z1 Extreme right now, unless you can get a really good deal on a Z1 Extreme device. But
that's exactly what I said. If the price is right for the Z1 Extreme, then, you know, that's what it's all about. It's all about the price. If you do it, I'll do it. No. No, that's not how this works, buddy. That's not how this works. That is not how this works. But yeah, like I was saying, because the Z1 Extreme is £800 right now. If it drops down to like 500 quid, then that's a whole £300 saving for 5 frames. Might be worthwhile. I don't know what I'm talking about. Of course I know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to save people money. Let's see. We've got... Oh, what did he send me? Did he do it? Sorry, chat, one sec. By the way, has anyone noticed the problem with the Microsoft rewards? Where they don't update until like the next day? Or is it just on my end? It might be just on my end, but I don't know. It's weird. It just doesn't update. Yeah. I must admit, I'm not religious in doing them, but it's like when I'm playing a game on Xbox, It just doesn't say that I've played it at all. Devastator sent me something. Let's see. All of them DCG. Alright, I'll leave it up to chat to decide which one they want to go through. Only bad PS5 games will go to Xbox. You must scan ID to play GTA 6 or any Xbox game. Or the PS4 is dead. PS4 is dead? Ah, that's what it is, Grey Monad. Alright. Alright, let's do this one last video. Hopefully it's not too long. I don't like to do videos over 10 minutes. Devastator, don't let me down. Make sure it's not over.
The PlayStation 4 is
Jesus
officially
Christ,
dead.
he's screaming at me! Stop it already! The PlayStation 4! It's like it's fucking having an aneurysm. Jesus Christ. Get the shit out of me. This was more scarier than Dead Take. There isn't a PS5 is dead, is there? Is there a PS5 is dead? What's that for, Brick? Yeah, 6 was dead too. Minnie, do me a favor, man. Oh, that's the one that I saw. That's the one I remembered. Alright, we got the PS4 is dead, or Sony giving up on consoles, RIP PS5, PS6. I think that one sounds a little more entertaining. Oh, for the Online Safety Act. Mate, I put on some random person's face. And that worked wonders.
Hey there, gamers, Dreamcast Guy here. Currently, I'm at QuakeCon 2025. I'm actually basically in a big stadium with 4,000 computers around me. A lot of people playing games, but since
Do you know what, man? One thing I do admire about some people where they can actually go to these events and sit down. I'd love to go, but unfortunately I can't. But it's you know, I'd definitely love to go to some of these events. Who knows? One day.
currently quiet. I'm going to secretly film a video. At the end of this, I'll stand up and show you how big and crazy this room is. But I want to talk because yesterday, Sony did this strange investor call. Q&A, a lot of stuff about the future of PlayStation. The future of PlayStation games. And
for the Safety Act, I actually used a famous Turkish actor. I got his face off thing and just put it on, and he accepted it.
something they really hammered home, and they directly said, is that the future of PlayStation isn't hardware, which in a fancier, flowerier way is basically saying they're moving away from PlayStation consoles. Now, we've been talking a lot about Xbox slowly going third party, about the fact that their pivot, at least mathematically, makes sense, in that if they're doing all these acquisitions, buying Bethesda, buying id, buying Call of Duty, Microsoft is spending tens of billions, close to hundreds of billions of dollars, trying to get the Xbox fire to ignite, and it hasn't really worked out. And so it makes sense that they're penny pinch.
Look, Microsoft's situation not working out can be pivoted to a lot of things, and everything goes back to Microsoft. You know, at the end of the day, the buck stops with them, and they just managed everything very, very badly. And even with the whole ABK deal, where they showed themselves weak for like 2 years, they dug themselves a hole so deep that in the end they couldn't come out and were forced to pivot. I mean, I know the plan was to always do what they're doing now, but maybe it wasn't as this extreme. But I think comparing yourself to what Microsoft is doing entirely is wrong. Their situation is slightly different. They were handicapped by the regulators as well. They were screwed. You know, they got shafted hard. They got dictated to do what they didn't want to do, and they had to bend the knee a lot to get the ABK deal pushed through.
Accountants basically said, hey, we have to go third party. We have to put Xbox games everywhere. But with PlayStation, the PlayStation console sells. The PlayStation console is way, way, way.
It's selling, but it's not selling enough games. Did you guys know that in the Microsoft earnings, and I'm not sure if this is 100% true, but I've seen it now in 3 different places, and AI says it's correct as well. When Nintendo gives its earnings at the end of the year, they only calculate 30% on third-party games in their overall revenue. Microsoft also calculate 30% in their overall revenue. Sony, on the other hand, actually incorporates 100% and then puts it down as cost to balance it out. So they're inflating their numbers. Now, I've read this in 3 different places. 3 different AIs actually. Gemini, Grok, and Copilot have also said the same thing, that Sony is doing this. So that 31 billion revenue is actually inflated. That's crazy, right? I mean, if it's true, like 3 different AIs have said the same thing, and I know AI is restrictive because it only gets data what's on the internet, but I've also read it in 3 different places now, and apparently Sony if you buy a game, say Monster Hunter, Sony, for their revenue, puts £70 of that into their revenue. They don't say like it's the £20 they get from that 30%.
Out in the lead. So I wanted to talk about this mostly because even from just a baseline standpoint, I'm fascinated why it sounds like PlayStation is in a big hurry to get away from the PlayStation brand. Let's talk. Hi, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this is the main quote I've seen going around, and I want to give credit here. GameKey is an account we've quoted a lot on this channel. He did this translation himself, so props to him. And he sort of further clarifies how they phrase this and stuff. Sony vice president says they're gradually shifting the gaming business from a hardware-centric business model to a community and engagement-based platform. Now, I always hate this term, engagement-based. I've played a lot of World of Warcraft. Anybody who has ever played a lot of Blizzard games, this is how Blizzard, in their own economic paperwork, describes success. Engagement-based. Basically meaning it's not how much fun you had or how cool your games were or how good the Metacritic was. It was just, hey, how many hours did you stay logged in? That's all that matters to these corporations. Correct. So I don't exactly like that phrasing, but in the gaming business, we are moving away from a hardware-centric business model more to a platform business that expands the community and increases engagement. Now, this to me still just sounds like such an oddball thing to say, in that historically, PlayStation has been, more than pretty much any other company, very much about sell the system at a launch. Get people to love your platform, right? get all your friends on PlayStation. Now you're socially locked into it. If you want to play multiplayer with your bros, you got to buy the PS4, 3, 4, 5. Oh, if you love this series, we're going to get you hooked on these characters. If you loved Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, well, you got to see how it all ends in Uncharted 4. Oh, an extra chapter with Uncharted Lost Legacy. PlayStation, I feel like, more than anybody else, has really sort of gotten into that idea of selling you the car so you'll pay for the gas. They always try to make PlayStation as cheap as possible, so you buy it, and then they make all their money of every time you buy any game on a PlayStation, you get 30%, right? That money to them has been a money printer. The fact that they're acting like moving away from it is the key to success still sounds the most surreal. He says overall, Sony are making a shift to creation as a company, as the segment of games, music, and pictures makes up 60% of Sony's total revenue. For example, shifting from output devices like TVs to creation devices like digital cameras. It's such an odd... For further context, the question was asked from the media was that Sony are aggressively investing in IP content creation, such as investing in Bandai Namco. Sounds like Microsoft in 2018. Oh, God.
See, the problem is everyone is taking that second part of that statement when they're talking about the other aspects of Sony, whether it's the anime TVs, I don't know if they still do mobile phones, or their actual cameras, which they do a lot of. But when it came to the video game centric quote that he made, he specifically made that quote for the PlayStation platform in regards to video games. The other stuff is a lot broader. That second part he wrote, that he read out, is way broader, right? It's talking about a bunch of other stuff. So it's not the same. They're not talking, the two are not correlating the same point. One is saying we are moving away from hardware centric to a platform centric because we want to increase engagement, which will then, bring us more microtransactions, it will bring us more money, everything else. The other one is saying, hey, we've also got this side of Sony where we want to invest more and build more and make sure it's doing what it's doing. And that's why they're buying more anime studios, and that's why they're investing more in their camera side.
Oh, no. So I don't need a PlayStation 6? Then, well, good. Okay, so some leakers have said that this statement is a little bit vague for what it actually means, which is that...
There is nothing vague about that statement. We are moving away from a hardware-centric business model. There's nothing vague there. Hey, Yatazak, how's the Xbox Series P doing for you?
The talk, the rumblings, the leaks are that PlayStation wants to shorten the window of a game coming out on PlayStation 6, let's say next year, or next generation. They want to shorten the amount of time for PlayStation 6 games being exclusive on PlayStation 6 to them going to PC.
And that's now gone to 6 months based on the leaks that we've seen. How long before that's day and date? Remember, it was 5 years, then 4 years, then... Well, it was never to begin with. And then it was one game, and that's it. Don't expect anything else. This is all that's going to happen. We're not promising anything else. Don't expect anything else. And then more came, right? Who does that sound like to you? Word for word, Phil Spencer. But then it went from 5 years to 4 years to 3 years to 2 years to, I think it was 16 months or 14 months. And now to 6 months. How long before that's day and date on PC? Not long.
It sounds like from the leaks that the goal isn't necessarily we're giving up on PlayStation. It's that, hey, there is so much money on the table. Like, even right here, I'm in a room with 4,000 PC gamers. I've not seen a console. Everybody here is PC gamer, right? So all the people in this room, how many millions of dollars have been made from just this group of people by putting Spider-Man on Steam, putting everything everywhere, even if it is, in this case, Helldivers 2 going to Xbox. How much money does that end up making them? Okay, next slide here. I do think it's funny that everybody's sort of just freaking out about the freak out. I am laughing just about this. Everybody is like, man, it is interesting to me that a lot of people, myself included, do think this is partially just a budget thing. that right now with a lot of these companies, they're bleeding money. They're bleeding money. Whereas PlayStation's in an odd spot because they invest so much in each of their individual games, but they still make it back at the end of the year. Like, this is a lot of PlayStation quarterly result stuff. But think about Concord, massive failure. Geyser, maybe close to $500 million on that one game. Canceled it in 10 days. Quarterly results, still surprisingly good for how much of a bloodbath it was. PlayStation's in an odd spot where I do think because they have so many people playing PlayStation games on PC, I mean, the fact that Helldivers was breaking worldwide concurrent player numbers still bonkers to me.
Thanks to PC.
I think PlayStation is getting to a point where they're no longer just thinking, okay, what will survive us this quarter? Okay, all these are going to be in the green. What's our plan in 10 years? Look, this to me is partially what makes this bizarre. The PlayStation 5 is selling faster than the PlayStation 4.
Remember, boys, 30 million is still in the warehouse.
Which already was the fastest selling PlayStation console. So it just seems like, I guess I still just don't fully
Up to 30 million still in the warehouse.
The back end. I do think that if this plan rolls out and they really do start just putting stuff on Steam as fast as possible, and let's say they put stuff on Xbox 2 years after it comes out or something, I do think that if PlayStation sees that chart dip at all, they're going to cancel this plan. I'm just saying that PlayStation 5 right now is completely holding them up to such a heavy degree. I just think that if PlayStation 5 starts going into the toilet the second they start trying to sort of branch out with release patterns, I think they're going to cancel.
Their godfather, Shuhei Yoshida, said, releasing games on PC prints money. No matter how bad those numbers look on Steam for concurrent users, it prints money. So clearly the porting cost is not high. It's relatively low. Therefore, no matter how badly the game does, unless it doesn't sell at all, it's going to make money.
Because this is still their money printing machine. PS5 hardware sales increased. Game and network services up. Operating income profit climbed 127%. God, and they're not even releasing games. Let's be real.
But what's the net profit? I know that's operating income, but what's the net profit? Because they didn't confirm what the net profit is, right? And it'd be interesting to see what the net profit is of that.
But that software sales reached 66 million, up 23%. PSN monthly active users increased 6%. So it's not just people buying consoles; it's people playing them, using them, staying online. I don't know. These are some off-the-cuff thoughts.
My
Honestly,
fans are gone.
I just want to talk about this because I just can't believe personally that the whole plan is to copy the Xbox playbook and put every game everywhere day and date. Right now, Sony is still doing very well.
Why not? They've copied Xbox and everything else. I don't know the actual figures, boss, but it's not a lot.
Right? Their profits just being so absolutely insane. I just don't think they're as money hungry and as afraid as Xbox is. But these have just been...
Xbox made 23 billion in profit, right? Not billion, whatever it is. But their games division made not 23 billion in profit. Their games division made 23 billion. And 5 billion of that came from Game
Sony
Pass.
MAU move exposed Xbox business all along.
Hey, thank you for the £2 super chat. I mean, Sony's MAU move is obvious. This MAU thing is all just a new trend. You know, in the next 5 years, they'll find something else. But it's all to basically show who's got the bigger player base. You don't have the biggest console base, you move to the next best thing. And in this case, Microsoft went to the player base. But, you know, 17 billion of that 23 billion came from game sales, DLC, early access, microtransactions. You know, Game Pass actually brought in like 25% of that revenue. 75% came from everywhere else. But Microsoft is, people that say that Microsoft isn't selling anything, that's still a lot of sales they're doing.
Some off the cuff thoughts. What do you think? Tell me your thoughts.
Yes, that's the end of him. Anything else on my little feed that I've got here? Nope. 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 But yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll see what Sony's going to do. I think we might see something at Gamescom, but realistically, I don't think we'll see something until the Game of the Year awards, and that's if Jeff Keighley actually allows anything to be shown that's anti-PlayStation. There is always that, right? Jeff Keighley being Jeff Keighley, after all. He won't allow any negative thing to be said about his precious PlayStation. Oh, no. But it'll be interesting to see what the Xbox LIX does in terms of performance. It's going to mature at some point, so that's cool. We've got Bruno eating a Hello Kitty Happy Meal, so there's that too. Just thought I'd randomly throw that in because why not? I'm not going to embarrass him by showing the picture. But yeah, I guess this is the last thing I'll show because this is kind of cool and worth doing. The fuck is this? Nope, not even gonna. Nope, not even gonna go there. But those interested in the Nier franchise, it's on sale. I don't know if it's on sale on consoles though, but it's definitely on sale on Steam if you are a Steam user. No, it's just talking about that person that got banned, and people are going really, really, really nasty about it now. And yeah, I'm just not gonna do that on stream. It's a good game, the Nier series. It's in fact one of my favorite games of all time, especially Nier Automata. It was just phenomenal. Worth playing, and if you haven't played it, you absolutely should. But folks, McDonald's Hello Kitty meal. Yes, it does. It does in fact have a Hello Kitty meal. It does. I just didn't want to embarrass Bruno because my dude was having that all gleefully pictured to himself. I couldn't do that to him, man. I couldn't do that to him. But folks, that's going to be the end of the stream. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'm playing over at Twitch. Probably maybe some more Woowa, maybe something else. I don't know. I'll see on the day how I'm feeling. But otherwise, if you're not interested in the gaming side of things, we'll be back here on Thursday. Hopefully we'll have some news because videos have been quite dry as of late. Not really been much to talk about, much to make videos on. But yeah, I'll hopefully see you guys then. Until then, folks, I will see you next time. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for the super chats, the memberships. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you next time. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Good night, all.